Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something literally foundational, the architecture of an unstoppable woman. And, I absolutely love that word, architecture. It implies that being unstoppable isn't some random genetic lottery ticket. It's something built, brick by brick. If you've ever felt like you've got so much more in the tank, but you're just stuck in the mud of everyday distractions, well, this is exactly what you need. Let's dive right into the source material and see what it actually takes to build this mindset from the ground up.
Right out of the gate, the source material hits us with this incredible hook. A focused girl is dangerous because she stops needing approval from others. Now, we usually think of danger as a bad thing, right? As a threat. But here, it represents a massive positive force. You literally become a danger to the status quo. You become a threat to your own past limitations the exact second you drop the need for external validation. When you stop scanning the room to see who's clapping for you, man, you unlock this immense reservoir of personal power. You just aren't easily controlled or influenced anymore. So I want you to pause for a second and really reflect on this question. What happens when you finally stop waiting for motivation? Seriously, think about your own life. How many times have we put off our goals because we just didn't feel inspired? Because the motivation fairy didn't magically tap us on the shoulder that morning? Asking this shifts our entire focus from an internal feeling, waiting around for approval or inspiration, to the raw, gritty action of making things happen. Motivation is super fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. What we are building here is an infrastructure that does not need a sunny day to function.
And this is exactly how it plays out in the real world. While others were making excuses, she was making progress. It really is that simple. Well, simple, but definitely not easy. It's just human nature to find a perfectly logical excuse for why today isn't the right day to start, or why the goal is just way too hard. But the unstoppable mindset treats progress as a conscious, daily choice. Every single day, you are either making excuses or you are making progress. There is absolutely no middle ground. What's fascinating is that this completely flips how we normally look at self-improvement. We always think we need to add things, right? Add more skills, add more tasks on the calendar, read more books. But getting stronger is actually the art of subtraction. Looking at the text, she stopped doubting herself, stopped waiting for motivation, stopped caring about negative people. It's literally about taking out the trash. Once you clear out those mental blocks, the bad habits, and the dead weight of negative opinions, it's wild how much energy you suddenly have. And what happens when all that excess noise is finally stripped away? Instead, she focused on her goals. We're talking absolute, laser-like focus here. Think of it like a magnifying glass taking scattered rays of sunlight and channeling them into a single intense fire. Taking your energy away from self-doubt and pointing it entirely at the end goal is what creates that unstoppable momentum. You harness all that previously wasted potential and point it exactly where you want to go. But what does that focus actually look like on, say, a random Tuesday morning at 5 a.m.? Well, it means embracing the silent struggle. She wakes up early to claim the day before the world can start making demands on her. She works in silence, no broadcasting every single move on social media for a cheap dopamine hit of likes, just pure execution. And she pushes through the pain of doing hard things when she'd much rather stay comfortable. These 3 daily steps form the absolute concrete foundation of her discipline. Now, of course, working in silence definitely doesn't mean the world around you is quiet. The source material points out a hard truth: the noise. People will laugh at her dreams until those dreams become reality. There's always going to be a chorus of cynics, but you have to contrast that temporary, annoying sting of external judgment with the permanent triumph of actually achieving your goals. She keeps moving forward no matter what. The noise is temporary, the reality you build is what lasts. So let them laugh. The results are going to silence the room eventually. To really pull this off, you have to completely redefine what competition actually means. She's not competing with anyone. She's becoming the best version of herself. If you are constantly looking to your left and your right to see what everyone else is doing, you're literally giving away your power. You're letting them set your pace. But when you shift your focus entirely inward, the only metric of success that matters is whether you are better today than you were yesterday. It's an internal evolution, not an external race. And this architecture, it isn't built overnight. Let's look at this timeline. It's a process. Every small step, every hard day, every silent struggle was turning her into a stronger woman. It's a sequence of difficult, super unglamorous moments just stacked on top of one another. At the start, it's just about putting one foot in front of the other. Then you hit that messy middle, enduring the absolute grind when nobody is watching and nobody is cheering. But that compounding effort, that is exactly what builds genuine strength.
Synthesizing all of this down from our source texts, the formula is crystal clear. You absolutely need a strong mindset to block out the noise and actually believe in the vision, and you need strong discipline to do the quiet, painful work. When those two pillars, mindset and discipline, are firmly locked into place, the roof that goes on top of them is an unstoppable future. They're completely non-negotiable if you want to elevate your life. Which brings us to the ultimate thesis of our explainer today. She knew one thing. Your future changes when your mindset changes. It doesn't magically change when your boss finally promotes you or when the economy turns around. The external world only shifts after your internal architecture has been totally rebuilt. Your mindset is the blueprint. If that blueprint is flawed with doubts and excuses, the building is eventually going to collapse. But if it's rock solid, the future you build on it will be unshakable. Ultimately, it all boils down to this one core truth. The girl who believes in herself can achieve anything. It sounds simple, I know. But when backed by that rigorous framework of discipline, subtraction, and all that silent struggle we just talked about, unapologetic self-belief becomes the ultimate catalyst for achievement. When you truly believe in your own capacity to overcome, those obstacles stop looking like brick walls and literally start looking like stepping stones. It's one thing to understand this architecture, but it's another thing entirely to claim it for yourself. If you are ready to drop the excuses, stop waiting for motivation, and start working in silence toward your greatest goals, you need to draw a line in the sand today. Comment growth if you're ready to level up. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I want to leave you with this final thought. If you completely stripped away your need for approval today, what could you start building tomorrow?